Imagine this. You're about to speak up in a meeting, but you hold back. Why? Because you're terrified of what others might think. Or maybe you've spent hours crafting the perfect social media post, deleting and rewriting it 10 times, worried about how people will judge you. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. The fear of judgment is silently running your life. And today, we're going to destroy it using ancient Stoic wisdom that's been freeing minds for over 2,000 years. Welcome to Stoic Silence, where we explore timeless philosophy to transform modern lives. I'm here to tell you something powerful. The Stoics discovered a secret about judgment that most people never learn. And once you understand it, you'll never look at others' opinions the same way again. But before we dive deep, if you're ready to break free from the prison of other people's opinions, hit that like button right now and subscribe, because we're going on a journey that will change how you see yourself and the world around you. Let me tell you a story. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, Emperor of Rome. He could have anyone executed with a single word. Yet in his private journal, now known as Meditations, he wrote something surprising. He wrote about how even he, the emperor, struggled with caring too much about what others thought. If the most powerful man in the ancient world dealt with this, what does that tell you? It tells you this is a human problem, not a weakness. It's hardwired into us. But here's where the Stoics were brilliant. They didn't just acknowledge the problem, they solved it. Epictetus, who started his life as a slave and became one of the greatest philosophers, taught something revolutionary. He said there are things within our control and things outside our control, and other people's opinions completely outside your control. Think about that for a moment. You can't reach into someone else's mind and change what they think about you. You can't control their past experiences, their biases, their insecurities that color how they see you. So why are you giving them so much power over your peace of mind? Let's go deeper into why we care so much in the first place. Our ancestors lived in small tribes. Being rejected by the tribe meant death, literally. You couldn't survive alone in the wilderness, so our brains evolved to be hypersensitive to social rejection. That ancient alarm system is still firing in your brain today, even though being judged at work or online won't actually kill you. The Stoics understood this too. They knew we have these automatic reactions, but here's their genius. They taught that between the event and your response, there's a space. In that space lies your power. Someone criticizes you. That's the event. Your anxiety and shame, that's your response, and you get to choose that response. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher and advisor to emperors, put it perfectly. He said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Read that again. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Most of the judgment you fear, it exists only in your head. You're torturing yourself with scenarios that haven't happened and probably never will. I want you to try something right now. Think of the last time you were really worried about being judged. Maybe it was a presentation, a date, or posting something online. Now ask yourself what actually happened. In most cases, either nothing bad happened at all, or it was far less terrible than you imagined. And even if someone did judge you harshly, are you still thinking about it? Are they? Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to spend much time judging you. Here's another Stoic truth that will set you free. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. This isn't just philosophy. This is a practical tool. When you catch yourself spiraling about what someone might think, pause. Recognize that their opinion is outside your control. Then redirect your energy to what is in your control. Your actions, your values, your effort, your character. The Stoics practiced something called negative visualization. They would imagine the worst-case scenario to rob it of its power. So let's do it. What's the worst that could happen if someone judges you? They think less of you? They talk about you? And then what? Does the earth stop spinning? Do you cease to exist? No, life goes on. And here's the kicker. Their judgment says more about them than it does about you. Now let me share a personal realization that changed everything for me. I used to obsess over every interaction, replaying conversations in my head, wondering if I said something stupid, if people liked me, if I was good enough. It was exhausting. Then I discovered what the Stoics called living according to nature. This means living according to your true nature, your authentic self, not the version of you that's constantly performing for others. Epictetus taught his students, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Think about the freedom in that statement. Be content to be thought foolish. That means you stop controlling the narrative. You stop managing everyone's perception of you. You just be yourself and accept that some people won't get it, won't like it, won't approve. And that's okay. Here's something Stoic silence wants you to understand deeply. When you're constantly seeking approval, you're giving away your power. You're making other people the masters of your emotional state. They don't even know they have this power over you, but you've given it to them. The Stoics called this being enslaved. Not physically, but mentally and emotionally. Marcus Aurelius, even as emperor, reminded himself daily, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Sit with that paradox. You love yourself more, yet you value their opinion more. Why? Because you've been conditioned to believe that external validation equals worth. But the Stoics knew better. Your worth is internal. It's based on your character, your virtues, your integrity, not on the shifting opinions of others. Let me give you a practical Stoic exercise. It's called the view from above. Marcus Aurelius used this regularly. Imagine yourself from high above, looking down at your life, your city, your country, the entire planet. From that perspective, how important is that critical comment someone made? How significant is that disapproving look? You're one person among billions, living on a tiny rock floating in an infinite universe. This isn't to make you feel small. It's to give you perspective. Most of what we worry about is incredibly small in the grand scheme of things. The Stoics also taught the importance of focusing on the opinion of the right people. Not everyone's judgment is equal. Epictetus said, "If you wish to be a philosopher, be prepared from the beginning to be laughed at and mocked." He knew that pursuing truth and virtue would invite criticism from those who don't understand or who feel threatened by it. So choose whose opinion you respect. Make it people who share your values, who've achieved what you want to achieve, who live with integrity. Here's where this gets really powerful. The Stoics discovered that the antidote to caring what others think isn't arrogance or not caring about anything. It's self-respect. It's having an internal compass so strong that external winds can't blow you off course. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Every judgment, every criticism, every moment of social anxiety is friction. It's an opportunity to strengthen your inner core. Think of it like building muscle. When you lift weights, you're actually creating tiny tears in your muscle fibers. It's the repair process that makes them stronger. Same with your mental strength. Every time you choose your values over others' approval, you're building that muscle. Every time you speak your truth despite fear of judgment, you're getting stronger. I want to share a story about Cato the Younger, a Roman Stoic famous for his unwavering principles. He lived during the time of Julius Caesar, and while everyone else was compromising their values for political gain, Cato refused. He was mocked, criticized, and eventually died for his principles. But history remembers him as a hero of integrity. The people who criticized him, mostly forgotten. This teaches us something crucial. In the long run, character wins, integrity wins, living according to your values wins. The Stoics had a practice called premeditation of adversity. Before entering a situation where you might be judged, you'd mentally prepare. You'd remind yourself, some people might criticize me, some might misunderstand, some might reject me, and I will be okay. This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. It's removing the shock factor so judgment can't ambush you emotionally. Here's a truth that Stoic silence emphasizes in all our content. You're going to be judged no matter what you do. If you're successful, some will call you arrogant. If you're humble, some will call you weak. If you're confident, you're cocky. If you're cautious, you're fearful. There is no version of you that will please everyone. So you might as well please yourself. You might as well live according to your own standards. Marcus Aurelius put it brilliantly. How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself to make it just and holy. Imagine the time and energy you'd reclaim. If you stopped monitoring everyone else's reactions to you, that energy could go into building something meaningful, loving deeply, growing genuinely. The Stoics also taught that often, the judgment we fear is our own judgment projected onto others. We criticize ourselves internally, then assume everyone else is doing the same. But they're not. They're too busy criticizing themselves. It's a cycle of unnecessary suffering. Let's talk about practical application, because philosophy without action is just interesting ideas. The Stoics were all about practice. Epictetus ran a school where students didn't just learn theory, they practiced these principles daily. So here's how you actually stop caring what others think the Stoic way. First, morning reflection. Marcus Aurelius started each day reminding himself of Stoic principles. You can do the same. Before you check your phone, before you enter the world's noise, remind yourself, I cannot control what others think of me. I can only control my character and my responses. Today, I will act according to my values, regardless of approval or criticism. Just that simple practice begins to rewire your brain. Second, the dichotomy of control. Every time you feel anxiety about judgment, ask yourself, is this in my control? Someone's opinion of you? No. Your behavior and choices? Yes. This question redirects your focus to what matters. It's like a mental reset button. The more you practice it, the more automatic it becomes. Third, voluntary discomfort. The Stoics would intentionally put themselves in uncomfortable situations to build resilience. You can do this too. Wear something slightly outside your comfort zone. Share an opinion you've been hiding. Do something that might invite judgment, not recklessly but intentionally. Each time you survive it, and you will, you prove to yourself that judgment can't destroy you. Fourth, keep a journal like Marcus Aurelius. Write about moments when you cared too much about others' opinions. What triggered it? What did you fear would happen? What actually happened? Over time, you'll see patterns. You'll see how often your fears were unfounded. This builds evidence against your anxious thoughts. Fifth, practice self-compassion. The Stoics weren't cold or harsh with themselves. They were honest but kind. When you catch yourself spiraling about judgment, treat yourself like you'd treat a good friend. You wouldn't tell your friend, "You're right to be terrified of what people think. You're probably not good enough." You'd offer perspective and support. Do the same for yourself. Seneca taught, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Use this as your mantra. When judgment anxiety rises, repeat it, test it. Is the suffering you're experiencing real or imagined? Most of the time, it's imagined. Here's something powerful that Stoic silence wants you to remember. Living free from the fear of judgment doesn't mean you become a jerk who doesn't consider others. It means you're free to actually connect with people authentically. When you're not performing, not managing perceptions, not hiding, you can be real. And real connection only happens between real people, not masks. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with others while maintaining inner freedom. That's the balance. You can be kind, considerate. We're coming to the end of this journey, but really, it's just the beginning of yours. Let me leave you with the ultimate Stoic perspective on judgment. Marcus Aurelius, on his deathbed, one of the most powerful men who ever lived, didn't worry about his legacy or what history would think of him. He focused on whether he'd lived according to virtue. That's it. That's the measure. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Stop defending yourself to everyone. Stop justifying your choices. Live them. Let your life be your statement. The people who matter will understand. The people who don't understand don't matter." It sounds harsh, but it's liberating. Here's the final truth. You're going to die. So am I. So is everyone who might judge you. In 100 years, we'll all be dust. The opinions, the judgments, the approvals and disapprovals will all be meaningless. What will matter is whether you lived authentically, whether you were true to yourself, whether you loved, created, and contributed according to your own values. The Stoics meditated on death not to be morbid, but to gain perspective. When you remember life is short, you stop wasting it on worrying about trivial judgments. You start living with urgency and authenticity. You start doing what matters to you, not what looks good to others. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 7 days, practice one Stoic principle we discussed. Just one. Maybe it's the dichotomy of control. Maybe it's morning reflection. Maybe it's doing one thing that invites judgment. Notice what changes. Notice how it feels to reclaim your power. And here's what I want you to do right now. In the comments below, share one thing you've been holding back on because you feared judgment. It could be a dream, a decision, an opinion, anything. Let this be your practice ground. Let this community support you. Because at Stoic Silence, we're building a tribe of people who are done living for others' approval. If this video helped you, if you felt something shift, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Send it to a friend who's trapped in the approval prison. Be the one who helps them break free. And subscribe so we can continue this journey together, exploring Stoic wisdom that transforms modern lives. Remember, the Stoics taught that philosophy isn't about sounding smart. It's about living well. So take these ideas and live them. Start today. Start now. You have one life. Don't waste it performing for an audience that's not even watching. Live for yourself. Live according to your values. Live free. Thank you for being here. Until next time, stay strong, stay stoic, and stay silent to the noise of judgment.